Well, good day, all. Ira Epstein, and here we are with your SPDR ETF stock market wrap-up. And it is Monday, the 18th of August, 2025. And yes, this is my Rick's Cafe shirt from, actually, Casablanca, right where that famous movie was. All right. So, as we talk about things that are going on, today was the day of summits. And basically, many of the key leaders in Europe flew to the White House, met with President Zelensky, President Trump, and tried to come up with a game plan. They think they did. I understand that President Trump called President Putin. They had reportedly, I wasn't there, a 40-minute conversation. And from the sounds of it, Zelensky and Putin will meet one-on-one without President Trump at the first meeting. After that, if they can meet again, if there's grounds to do so, I guess they'll bring in President Trump. But this is a big win for President Trump. I mean, he's brought together two fighting nations. They're going to have a conversation. Maybe it ends the war. Maybe it doesn't. It's a clear win for him. So that's what you look at there. When we look at the marketplace, you're going to get the Johnson Redbook retail sales in the morning. They've been running about a 5.5% increase. You're going to get housing starts and building permits for July. They're looking for a decrease of 200,000 in the starts and about 100,000 less in the permits. And now we go on to the summer doldrums. And that's what I call this. If it weren't for the Ukraine situation, these markets would even be quieter than they are. It just is, you're at that funny part of the year. The kids are going back to school, the vacations are ending, the storms are rumbling through. I know in Chicago we're getting tremendous ones right now. A lot of rain makes grain, so you always pay attention to that. All righty. So let's talk about what the markets did, because it was an interesting day. Amazon up a little bit. Netflix gained again, back into the 1240s. You realize it went from this level down to about 1,130 and has come right back, all in about a week and a half, if that. Uranium still holding very nicely at 39, building right here, I think, a base. GM, not doing much of anything right here. As we take a look at Restoration Hardware, got hit again. Home Depot got hit. So all the home things aren't doing that well. NVIDIA, all I keep reading is NVIDIA's peaked out. That's what people keep writing. Keeps going for highs. Tesla came back today. It was a little bit of everything in that market. And most of the stock indices were mixed. Uber coming alive one more time. We'll see if it has any legs to it from up here. So let's take a look, if we could, at some of the charts and get a feel. Now, I asked you last week to give me one to cover, and one of you did, and I appreciate it. Siri, Howard Stern's maybe X channel, and of course you know that Warren Buffett is definitely a part of this. But who hasn't listened to Siri as you travel across the country or other parts? It's in the cars if you travel a lot. It's wonderful. I don't have it because I have a car that's 15 years old with 2,600 miles. I was looking at it today, my little smart car. I am in that car 10 minutes at a time. There's no point in getting it. Otherwise, I'd have it. And I have other cars. But, when you live in a city, you're in an Uber more times than you're doing. It costs too much. I went out to dinner last night, and I was looking at how much they wanted from the valet. This is with my discount in Chicago. $36 for 2 hours. Uber. I told my wife, we're never doing that again. But as you can see, the market coming up, playing a game right here. You're not really trending. You're in a market that made a bottom, came back, and now it's got to figure what to do with that. But it really ended that downtrend phase. It would have to go down and make new lows to start it all over. Obviously, it ran into different layers of resistance. The first one right here, the next day here, then starting to pull back, and you can see what you've got. Support most likely at the 22.25 area in it. The Bollinger top is wherever I'd look for the bigger resistance. I don't know that you'll go back to the Bollinger Band bottom. You ran it for, you had that Gorilla Glue trade, and then you lost it, and the market gave you two warnings. Number one, it couldn't embed. Number two, it was oversold and then gave you the pop. When we come to Netflix, it's on borrowed time. It's just running into the upper band. I am not bearish. Please understand, don't put words in my mouth. But when you're against the Bollinger Band and you're overbought, markets tend to pull back. Eventually, it'll give a better signal. I'm very bullish this, still long term. I realize the multiple's rich, but I also realize they just have the best programming out there. When you go to Dash, lower highs, lower lows, couldn't follow through on the downside. Probably going to play a little bit at right here, but the trend is down. It's not up. Under the current formation, you'd have to go all the way back up here into the 254, 55 area in order to negate the trend. It's easier for it to probably hang here for a little bit. Google, as long as the embedded reading, when the red and the blue go sideways over 80 for several days at a time, it's not uncommon to hit the Bollinger Bands and stay near them, and the traders buy the dips and try to sell into that. That's very typical in my opinion. When we look at Excelon, which we had covered last week, lower highs, lower lows, it broke out to the downside now. So until you go back and you take out the highs of Thursday, this market could easily be headed back to the lower Bollinger Band. In Robinhood, it breaks, but it refuses to go anywhere on the downside. It's also overbought as can be. I'll let somebody else own it. I don't see a good entry spot there. In Tesla, okay. So I understand Tesla's coming out with a new car also in China that's a long edition. That's interesting to meet their market. You've got a higher high and lower low. Why are we not hearing anything about these Tesla automated cars in Austin, Texas? I want to hear more about them. You can write me. I'm not hearing things about it at all. I should call one of my friends that lives there, but he's in India most of the time. Joby. Joby had a very successful flight, I understand, in New York between two airports, took off vertically, flew 10 miles or so, landed vertically. The first step for the AAA and certification. Now they got to start building one of these planes for the FAA certification. But these are your air taxis. And as you know, they're already operational in Dubai. Getting them into America is a whole different world for that. But you can see the swings. I think you're just caught in building a base eventually here. Could it be a top? It could be, but I think the company's got a future. When we look at XLF, I'm looking at a lower low, higher high. I don't know what to do when I see something like that. I just go like this. Why am I wasting my time? XLI, the industrials, we talked about this last week. It just can't get up and stay over the 18-day average. You did it one day, and the very next day I said I wanted to close on a positive note, and that could get me friendly. It kept me away from it. It's just not there, not just yet. When we come to the energy select sector, and remember, these are the refineries. These are the oil pipelines and so on, things of that nature. There's still a lot of pressure on this market, as you can see. In the gold market, eventually the inflation will come, but the market's been able to beat back PPI, CPI, and I am of the school that they are not one-time inflation numbers. They go up once and they stay there, and you're paying it every month. I don't buy that argument that they're giving. Too many people in that argument. Higher lows, higher highs in silver. Silver's acting much better than the gold market. The copper market, I think you got high enough here in the miners to see some profit taking, especially as the market's overbought. If it embeds, I'll change my opinion. BND, look at how this came rushing to the downside. So you've broken the uptrend in that market. You actually tonight had a bear trend kick in until today's high is taken out. You have lower highs, lower lows, under the 18-day average, and the momentum turned down. Target could be down here if the market continues to go with it. The dollar. The dollar's in a near-term and UUP downtrend unless it can get back over the green line, the 100-day average in the 18, but it's oversold. Do you think I would tell people in an oversold market, hey, go on, sell that? I don't think I would. And FXE, overbought, and over it, bullish. No. let this market come in. As I said, you get a lot of the B league traders at this time of the year. A lot of people in Europe are on vacation. I didn't do the weekend update. I admit it, I played hooky, all right? I didn't even do a morning flash update today. It's my end of the summer. I'm doing what I want, but you can only do the same thing over and over so many times. If you have something to say, you love it. If you don't have too much to say, you can't. In addition, that epidural didn't work for me, so my back is killing me. But that's another story. So I hope you take a look by clicking up here at the dollar index report that goes off our website tonight, Monday, August 18th at 11:59 p.m. Central Time. You got a while to see it. I'm Ira. You have yourself a great evening. By the way, we did actually a fair amount of establishing of positions today in our SPDR-ETF, which was interesting. You have a great day.